but still a very great moment. All right, now speaking of the Dinobots, what I would have liked a little bit more out of the Dinobots is if they transformed in and out of Dinobot and Robot modes. That would have been cool. I know the highlight of Dinobots is, of course, the Dinobot mode, but it would have been really, really nice if we saw Grimlock being in its Dinobot mode, his T-Rex mode, being surrounded by man-made cons, and then he's being shot at. He transforms into robot mode. He pulls out the mace, the mace staff, and then he thwacks like 5 or 6 of them in one single swing, and then he transforms back to T-Rex mode. Wouldn't that be cool? Wasted opportunity. That would have been sick, okay? That would have been like a big fanboy moment, all right? Which finally brings me to the biggest crime in all of the Transformers live-action films. Lack of transformations. Did anyone actually see Drift or Crosshairs or Hound transform into their vehicle modes? I mean, we saw Drift transform into a helicopter, but the other guys, all you hear is a transforming sound off screen, and then suddenly they're either in a robot mode or in their vehicle modes, and that is a true crime, okay? And you know what? I wanted to really see the beast that is that Oshkosh tactical defense vehicle that is Hound. That's Hound's alt mode, okay? It's a beast. I wanted to see that transform into the beast that Hound's robot mode is. That's would have been cool. And I want to see how his robot mode suddenly transforms into the Oshkosh Tactical Defense Vehicle. That would have been cool, but we didn't get that. We just got like off-screen transformations, which I think is a total cop-out. So that was really disappointing. You know what? Bumblebee and Lockdown had one very good transformation. Bumblebee's SS Chimera mode. That was very, very cool. It was a clean transformation. But you know what? Afterwards, it was more like suggested transformations where you hear the sound and then you see a bit of parts move and then suddenly they're a vehicle. And one thing that I really find a little bit annoying is transformations with object passes, or rather transformations where the transformation takes place but then there's an object in front of the robot that's transforming. You know what I'm saying? Michael Bay always does that. He always has a transformation happen, but it happens where you can't see the whole thing. It's not clear. And then you have a guy or like a building or like a car right in front of it. So you don't really see the full transformation. That, I think, is a very annoying thing and is a bit of a crime because it is a Transformers live action film. Give us more transformations. Now, I will admit that the Rusty Truck mode Optimus Prime transformed in and out, that was awesome. Every single time it's awesome. Very, very clean transformations, done really, really well. But other than that one time that Optimus Prime transforms from Western Star to robot mode, that one time, the introduction part, other than that, that's the only time we see him transform. And I just find that, this is a Transformers film. Give us some more transformations. And you know what? It also doesn't help about the fact that all the cons are all the man-made versions where they transform by morphing. I absolutely hated that. I hated that about the man-made cons. They don't transform. It would have been cool to see Galvatron, the truck, the Freightliner Argosy, transform like an actual physical transformation from that to a robot mode. That would have been cool. Because I want to see how he gets that chest, that hole in the chest. We don't get that at all. Instead, we get like these flying things, these nanobites. I mean, these nanobots or whatever. We see these flying things fly around. Suddenly, the robots, which is a totally overpowered ability. Okay, it's totally overpowered ability because that means that once they transform, they can fly anywhere they want, which includes like not being on the ground but flying to the top of a building, and suddenly they are a robot. You know what? That's not fair. Okay, that was totally lazy, okay? I really, really thought that was lazy. And I hated... That was the number one thing that I really did not like about the Transformers Age of Extinction. They shouldn't be able to transport themselves from point A to point B just by flying around these little white square parts. It's kind of dumb. But speaking of overpowered, okay, this is the last thing I got to talk about. Speaking of overpowered, so Optimus Prime scans a brand new truck, okay? He was Rusty Truck mode, and then he scans a brand new truck then suddenly he's this awesome looking Western Star truck. It was awesome. I mean, it was insane, but it was awesome. But still, you know what? He's completely overpowered because that means that he completely fixed himself. You know, in the Rusty Truck mode Optimus Prime, he was injured, he was leaking lubricants, you know, he was just falling apart. I know Cade did some work on him, but still, you know, could Cade really fix him up completely as a human? Suddenly he scans the truck and then he's like, no problem. He's freaking Iron Man. He's like Tony Stark built him an Iron Man suit because he can now fly. So wait a minute. You're telling me that Optimus Prime had a jetpack or flight capability the whole time and he never used it until the end of the movie? Okay, I do know that G1 he was able to fly, but for the most part he didn't. He actually used a jetpack in a couple of episodes, which suggests that he needs assistant flying. But for just the first couple of episodes in season 1, he was able to fly. All right, but afterwards he wasn't able to fly. The Decepticons flew, and then Optimus Prime would go, you know what? You guys got away. All right, and we established that Optimus Prime can't fly, at least not in the live-action universe, because he always needed some assistance, like a jetpack or a Jetfire's parts. But then suddenly he gets the flight capability, and I just feel like, at what point in the movie did Tony Stark help Optimus Prime build him an Iron Man suit? Suddenly he's Iron Man and he can fly. You know what? I felt that cinematic convenience. That's what I'm talking about with a cinematic convenience. But you know what? Out of all these things I talked about, I had an amazing time. It was a ride of a film, but like I said, out of all these points, it's all lazy writing. You know, there's not a whole lot of attention to detail. So therefore, that's why it's not a perfect score for me. Sure, I gave it an 8.25 out of 10, which is a very, very high score. All right. Now, as for what's for the future of Transformers and Transformers 5, well, obviously this opens the door to a whole new universe because Optimus Prime is taking the seed to his creators, who we don't know who they are. But based on G1, we know they're the Quintessons. Whether or not the Quintessons are going to show up in the next film is, you know, that's open for the filmmakers to decide. Okay, but does that also mean that we may or may not get Optimus Prime in Transformers 5? Or is he gonna meet his creators and then come back down to Earth? Who knows? But anyways, the universe has been expanded, and I have to say a big thank you to Michael Bay for giving us the ride of our lives, because that was an awesome film, and I can't wait to go back for some more. Alright, so thanks a lot for watching this video. I basically talked about everything that I wanted to talk about. I know it's a very long video, but I covered everything. That's all the questions I have and all the things that I have like nitpicky complaints about. It doesn't make, the nitpicky stuff doesn't really make the movie that much worse. But at the end of the day, I had a really good time. Ultimately, at the end of all of this, it was the movie that I wanted, okay? I can't ask for more. Maybe a few more things, like for example, a little bit more crosshairs, a little bit more Dinobots. But other than that, I had a really great time. And there you have it. As always, if you enjoyed this spoiler chat, hit the like button, subscribe to the YouTube channel, like me on Facebook, The Raging Nation. Also follow me on Twitter at Raging Nation. My name's Oxy. Thanks for watching. I'll see you next time. Peace. This moment in the movie. Okay, this is where Crosshairs gets his moment to shine, and I love the part where Crosshairs is trying to teach to Cade and